Welcome to Seeds of Thought. What if you are not lazy? What if you are not confused? What if you are not unmotivated? What if the real reason you stopped moving is because you got tired of being disappointed? Let's be honest. There was a time when you believed bigger, you dreamed easier, you prayed with more expectation, you talked about the future like it was actually possible, but then life happened. The door did not open, the relationship did not work, the business idea did not take off, the money got tight. The people you thought would support you disappeared, and slowly, without even noticing it, you stopped dreaming out loud. You started calling fear wisdom. You started calling delay being realistic. You started calling survival maturity. But deep down, something in you knows you were created for more than just getting through the day. This message is for the person who still has purpose inside, but your hope has been bruised. You still smile, you still show up, you still handle your responsibilities, but when nobody is around, you wonder, did I miss my moment? You see other people moving forward, and you are happy for them, but something inside you aches because you remember when you used to believe like that. Here is the truth. You did not lose your dream. You lost trust in the version of you that believed it was possible, and that is why motivation alone has not fixed it, because you do not need another hype speech. You need hope to feel safe again. You need to believe that trying again will not make you foolish. You need to believe that obedience is still worth it, even if the last season hurt. The first thing you have to understand is this: disappointment does not always destroy your life. Sometimes it just teaches your heart to lower the volume. You stop asking for big things. You stop taking bold steps. You stop sharing your ideas. You stop applying for the opportunity. You stop building the thing. You stop developing the gift. Not because you do not care, but because you cared so much before and it hurt when it did not happen. So now you protect yourself by staying small. You tell yourself, I'm fine, but you are not fine. You are functioning, and there is a difference. Functioning pays bills, functioning answers emails, functioning goes to work, functioning smiles in public, but purpose requires more than functioning. Purpose requires your heart to come back online. Most people miss this. The enemy does not always attack your gift. Sometimes he attacks your expectation, because if he can convince you not to expect anything, he does not have to stop you. You will stop yourself. You will still have the gift, still have the idea, still have the wisdom, still have the calling, still have the ability, but you will leave it sitting there because your heart is afraid to hope again. And that is where faith has to become personal, not loud, not performative, personal. Faith is not pretending you were never hurt. Faith is saying, God, I was hurt, but I am still available. That is powerful, because the version of you that survived disappointment is not weaker. That version is deeper, wiser, more discerning, more compassionate, more qualified to help people who are also trying to stand back up. Your pain did not cancel your purpose. It gave your purpose a language. Now here is the solution. Do not try to rebuild your whole life in one day. Start with one proof of life action, one small move that tells your soul, I am still here. Not a giant leap, not a dramatic announcement, not a full transformation overnight, just one action that proves hope is not dead. Pray honestly again. Make the call. Clean the workspace. Study the skill. Send the message. Take the walk. Build the simple plan. Do something that reminds you there is still movement in you, because sometimes the breakthrough does not begin with confidence. Sometimes it begins with evidence. Evidence that you can still start, evidence that you can still learn, evidence that you can still create, evidence that you can still obey, evidence that you can still become. And when you do one small thing, something shifts. Your mind says, wait, maybe I'm not finished. Your heart says, maybe I can try again. Your spirit says, maybe God is not done with me. That is where the comeback begins, not when everything is fixed, not when every door opens, not when every fear disappears. The comeback begins when you take one faithful step while your heart is still healing. And let me say this clearly, you do not need to be the old you again. Some of you keep trying to get back to who you were before the disappointment, but God is not trying to take you back. He's trying to bring you forward. You are not going back to the old confidence. You are building a deeper confidence. You are not going back to the old dream. You are carrying the dream with more wisdom. You are not going back to the old version of yourself. You are becoming someone stronger, steadier, and more surrendered. That is why this next season cannot be built on hype. It has to be built on rhythm. A small rhythm of obedience, a small rhythm of truth, a small rhythm of courage, a small rhythm of stewardship, a small rhythm of showing up even when your emotions are still catching up, because confidence is not always something you feel first. Sometimes confidence is something you build by keeping promises to yourself again. So here is your assignment. Before the day ends, write this sentence. The dream I stopped trusting is, be honest. Do not make it cute. Do not make it spiritual. Tell the truth. Then write, one proof of life action I can take today is, and do it. Today. Not when you feel inspired, not when the timing is perfect, not when everyone understands. Today. Because the longer you wait, the heavier it gets. And some of you do not need a new dream. You need to breathe life into the one you buried because disappointment made you tired. You are not dead inside. You are guarded. You are not out of purpose. You are out of practice. You are not too late. You are being invited back into movement. So stop letting one painful chapter convince you the whole book is over. Stop letting the delay become your identity. Stop calling your buried hope common sense. God still knows where you are. He still knows what He placed in you. He still knows how to use the pieces you thought were wasted, but you have to give Him something to breathe on, a step, a yes, a seed, a small act of faith. Like this video, subscribe for more faith-based wisdom on purpose, mindset, discipline, wealth, and personal growth. And share this with someone who has been quietly trying to believe again. Remember this, the dream may be quiet, but it is not dead. The hope may be bruised, but it is still breathing. And the moment you take one faithful step, you prove that disappointment did not get the final word.